Hey folks, what's up? This is Michael with part 2 of the trivia question. I could do this on a regular basis. I think this is pretty fun. Cramming a bunch of trivia questions into one night. Of course, I missed Wednesday, like I was saying, because I was so incredibly busy. I'm such an incredibly busy, important person. Anyways, welcome to Thursday. And Thursday's trivia question. I hope your week is going well. It's thankfully Thursday, and I'm thankful for you all for sure. Okay, here we go. The answer to the previous trivia question was one of my favorite people of all time, the one and only Mr. Ozzy Osbourne. I love Ozzy Osbourne, folks. You guys know if you listen to my trivia questions, I am a metalhead. I've been a metalhead all my life, and Ozzy Osbourne is the basic foundation of heavy metal music. Of course, his first band from the 70s, Black Sabbath, set the foundation, set the core sound of everything hard rock, heavy metal. And of course, he has had an incredible solo career since about 1980, right at 1980. He's an icon. Quite frankly, you just say the word Ozzy and you know who everybody's talking about. But anyways, I digress just a little bit. The answer to the previous trivia question was Ozzy Osbourne, and it was kind of an unfortunate set of circumstances and the very tragic suffering effects of alcoholism, or alcohol abuse, I should say, and a kind of overload, emotional abuse. A 19-year-old young man named John Daniel McCullum shot and killed himself tragically on October 26 of 1984. That, of course, was the focus of the trivia question. Now, it was very quickly determined that the incident was self-inflicted. Right? However, it was also just as quickly determined that he had been lying in bed listening to Ozzy Osbourne's breakout solo album called Blizzard of Ozz. If you are a metalhead like me, or even a hard rock fan, you probably have Blizzard of Ozz in your vinyl collection. Okay? This really happened. All right? His parents would go on to file a lawsuit in civil court in October of 1985, almost a whole year later, claiming that it was criminally negligent of Ozzy Osbourne to sing a song called Suicide Solution, which I believe was the second song on side 2, if my research from just my knowledge off the top of my brain of the album, having played it over and over again and worn it out. Anyways, the song was called Suicide Solution. It was actually a tribute to a lead singer named Bon Scott from AC/DC, but that's a whole nother trivia question in Oprah Winfrey Show altogether. I digress. The parents claimed that Ozzy himself shared in the responsibility for the young man's death and should therefore be held accountable. The suit alleged that the lyrics to Osbourne's song, Suicide Solution, were a quote-unquote, according to the legal term used by the attorney, proximate cause for their son's death. Okay. This actually went to court. It took 4 long years to reach the courts. And when it did, it was dismissed very quickly, actually, by the state of California. It was just 1988. The court declaring that McCullum's suicide was not a foreseeable result of listening to Osbourne's song. He threw out the case, basically, stating, quote, musical lyrics and poetry cannot be construed to contain the requisite call to action. Again, that was one of the legal boxes you had to check. For the elementary reason, they simply are not intended to be and should not be read literally. Reasonable persons understand musical lyrics and poetic conventions. Conventions is the figurative expressions which they are, unquote. That's the main takeaway from the court's findings and assertions and conclusions. Okay, the court did not stop there, however. They threw in a little bit of First Amendment stuff, which was really, really significant. They added that the defense failed to provide evidence that would prevent Osbourne from being fully protected under the First Amendment to the United States Constitution, stating, quote, we have to look very closely at the First Amendment and the chilling effect that would be if these words were held to be accountable. Okay, the court was essentially addressing possible future cases and basing it on First Amendment rights. Smart move. They concluded that even if Osbourne had intended to express that suicide was preferable to the rigors of daily living, he had the constitutional right to make such a statement. And I'm going to tell you right now, folks, they nailed it, hit it right on the money. You cannot hold. I mean, it's absolutely protected under First Amendment. And quite frankly, a lot of historians have looked into this case. Okay, not just metalheads, but this was a very, very significant case for artists in the entertainment world, for First Amendment rights, for expression through music, without question. Forget about the fact that Ozzy's just a crazy, crazy kind of guy, right? It's a very, very significant case that was thrown out, fortunately. Absolutely. So that was that case, and the family of another young man brought a similar lawsuit against Osbourne the same year, right? Alleging that subliminal messages hidden within Suicide Solution, again, that song, caused their son to kill himself on May 3rd, 1986. So this was like a year later. This just went on and on. Their case was also unsuccessful. I am going to say Ozzy did not make things difficult as far as being a target. Ozzy's a provocateur. Ozzy's just being Ozzy, right? But he's crazy. He will provoke things. I've seen him in concert too many times to count. I went to the Ozfest since its inception until it stopped running on the tour basis. And he will do things in concerts to provoke the crowd into a frenzy. And that lower right-hand picture there, that's an actual photo shoot from Blizzard of Oz, supposedly promoting Suicide Solution. He's got a gun to his head. So Ozzy didn't make things difficult for him to be a target, right? Doesn't matter. All still protected under the First Amendment, just like flag burning is, right? Shakespeare could have been, back in the day, could have been labeled the Ozzy Osbourne of the day back in his time. Same type of concept, folks. Still protected in this country under First Amendment, and thankfully so. Think if it wasn't, what kind of doors would that open up? Seriously, folks. The band Judas Priest went through the very same thing. Another geek factoid when I looked into this case. The band was sued collectively in 1990 in a very famous case. I remember the Judas Priest case more so than I do the two Ozzy Osbourne legal cases. And because by that time I was a full-blown metalhead with long hair down to my waist and all that good stuff. But that case was also thrown out on the grounds of First Amendment. Absolutely. So those are some cases for heavy metal that you can look into. But think of NWA. NWA went through the same type of thing. They tried to ban them and ban West Coast California without question. Again, freedom of speech. All of that is easily allowed in this country under freedom of expression, freedom of speech, music. Without question, folks. It's a cool topic to research. And if you really want to research an interesting guy, check out Ozzy. Okay, folks, thankfully it's Thursday, so thankfully I have a new trivia question. How about that for a little transition, little tie in there. Anyways, getting ready for Halloween weekend, folks. Let's do it. Let's roll on for October 27th on this day. In 1994, I guess we're going to get stuck on 1994. This is like the third question from the 90s. I don't know. On this day in 1994, check this out. The U.S. Justice Department announces that this has topped the 1 million mark for the first time in American history, which didn't even include local, town, and city level estimates. That's all the clues I'm going to give you, folks. Think about the year, the major reform efforts. Think about Bill Clinton. Here's Creed with the clue. You kids don't even know who Creed is. You missed out on all the good stuff. Anyways, good luck, folks. Peace out. Thanks for all you do. Love you guys.